Welcome everyone, guys. I am Fausto Carnevale. I have to buy new glasses this week. I broke them in Italy. I don't know if you see my last video. I've been in Italy 1 week, and I showed you around. I did a video also about investing in businesses in Italy, especially in Abruzzo. So if you have some questions, I will invite you to watch the video first and then send us an email at info@esentaxa.com. Especially if you want to move in Abruzzo, invest in real estate in Abruzzo, invest in other businesses. So quick news of the day, like of the month, let's say. There is the deadline of the tax return this month. So if you are living in Italy, if you lived in Italy in 2024, you have to do the tax return, you as a physical person and your company as well. But if you have a company, I think you already have an accountant. You as a physical person, you have to do the tax return if you lived for more than 6 months in Italy, even if you had zero revenue. So in case you need a support, we can elaborate your tax return. Just send us an email at info@esentaxa.com. Today, I would just wanted to see if there are some questions. I will try to do the live every Tuesday or every Wednesday. But today I'm just doing a quick chat with you guys about SRL in Italy as a way of investing. When it is good to open an SRL, limited responsibility company, and what are the fixed costs? Because this is a thing that we have to discuss in advance. So, if you open an SRL in Italy, you can open an SRLS and a normal SRL. The difference, for the purpose of this video, is that with a small company, SRLS, you only pay between notary and accountant fee only 1,000 euro. When it is good to have a company in Italy? So first of all, if you invoice more than 85,000 euro, because you cannot use the impatriate regime, the forfeit regime. If you have a physical business, which it cannot be identified as yourself, so you cannot use the impatriate regime. Second thing. Third thing, if you do not want to have responsibility, so you want to open a businesses in Italy, even an online business, and you don't want to put yourself against any financial problem if you don't pay debts or taxes. Okay. Of course, here we should talk about you cannot fail as a company, but this is maybe the topic of another video. What I said, if you watched my video last week, I talked about how to buy a business with a company. If you want to move, for instance, in Abruzzo, and you walk down the street and you see a nice bar, cocktail bar, and you want to buy that bar, you can do it with a company. You can incorporate in the company the business. Actually, this thing is called conferimento. So basically, you put the thing that the asset of the business inside a new company, and you can start your business in Italy. Why SRL is good? Because SRL basically you can also own the SRL with your company from abroad. We have to pay attention of the tax inversion, of course. But let's say you see a business to buy, it costs 100,000 euro. You can create a company in order to buy the business. Or if the business, it is already a company, let's say incorporated in an SRL, we need to pay attention because maybe the bookkeeping is not super clear, but you can also buy the shares of the company. Or if the company is not an SRL, but it is like a company at your name, you can transform then the company in an SRL. So the SRL basically is a way of asset protection, investing tool, if you then create an holding, and responsibility and asset protection. And if you are moving in Italy with your family, wife, children, etc., you can also make them work for the company, and minimize also the tax pressure on top of the cost of the work, the cost of labor, sorry. um, Pay attention. In Italy, unfortunately, a lot of people evade taxes. So when you do an estimation of the business, if they evade taxes, you can lower the prices because they don't show you the real value of the company. Okay. What does it mean for you? Then when you negotiate to buy a business, you have a lot of power, especially if you can put a decent amount of money on the table, depending on the business. Of course, I mean, if you want to buy a business in Italy, we should analyze the bookkeeping. I love bookkeeping. I teach bookkeeping to companies, to privates, to accountants in Italy, people who want to become accountants. But when you buy a company, we should sit together and analyze the bookkeeping. Otherwise, we can find a surprise. Maybe they didn't pay the taxes every month. Maybe they have some who God knows what eaten. Okay. But anyway, we always talk about forfettario, impatriate regime. And what if you want to invest in Italy? What if you want to have a nice business, you know? As I said last week, sorry. If you want to have fun, why don't start to look to a business to buy? You can even buy I don't know, a small restaurant. You can work part-time. I am assuming that you already have some retirement funds, of course. And Italy, the good thing is that you can also do network when you buy a business close to the sea. Like I always do. I play paddle, and when I go there to play paddle, I always see people who basically the owner of this club meets every day a lot of people. They earn money, even if they don't have a huge profit, but on the same thing, they also have fun. So let's not forget about having fun in Italy, because otherwise it's I always have fun when I go to Italy, but businesses have to pay attention because there is a different mentality in Italy. It's not like the Nordics country of Europe. It's not like US, not at all. So when you see a business, when you like the business, you need an expert. You need an evaluation. It's like when you are buying a mansion. You want to have a check. Even if everything looks perfect. The bookkeeping talks. I can read the bookkeepings, and when we see something that is not good, guys, it's better. It is also good for you because you can negotiate the prices. Okay. So what can I say? Until next time, Fausto Carnevale. If you need a specific consulting call, you can send us an email at info@esentaxa.com. Until next time, enjoy your staying in Italy.